de la famille.
All right, welcome to the family. Who is coming for the first time? Raise your hand. Wow. Okay, be welcome. My name is Alice. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the family. So welcome home. Tonight we are hosting 4 amazing young startups, and they are going to introduce you to their innovation on stage. Okay? So this is the main goal of Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe, is that anyone can come on stage and get feedback from you, from the audience, and from this amazing jury. So the goal tonight is really to help these people on stage to share with you their passion and their innovation. And you have the duty to really give them constructive feedback. Not during the pitch, but after the pitch. You have a lot of juices and fruit and everything, so you can enjoy, connect, and get to know better these innovators on stage, entrepreneurs. The winner, because there is a winner, you have to choose, which one you prefer. And you have to make some noise. We have an applaudimètre, okay? A real one. And the one will have an amazing thing for them for free. And it costs a lot, I can tell you. That's a new program that we've launched in last June here at the family. For anyone who wants to become the best employee of any startup, you can actually learn. Okay, it's not about the competencies. It's more about understanding the mindset in a totally new structure where there is no hierarchy, where it seems to be le bordel, but it's not actually at the end. There are tons of rules about this culture that you must know and you can learn, and it's through Lion School. So the startups that will win tonight, they can choose either they have their best employee and they send their best employee to get better at Lyon, either they themselves want to be trained at Lyon. And I want to welcome on stage my girl. Where is she? Come on. A lot of love and applause for the CEO of Lyon, Megan. Give us some insights.
Sure. Hi, everybody. So Lion is a training program for people like you, people who are actually looking for joining the best startup in Paris. Lion is a free startup school. That means that you don't have to pay anything. For 2 months, entrepreneurs from the best startup in Paris are giving away their secret sauce and their best advice in order to help you get the best jobs and be operational on your first day in a startup. I'm in contact with about 300 startups in Paris. They are looking for talent, people like you, and they just need you. So it's really simple. If just to give you some numbers regarding the last season, we had 1,500 candidates. We selected 100 out of them, which is la crème de la crème, as we say. We trained them for 2 months, and then we found a job for them. 60% of them are already working. If you are interested, it's super simple. Join Lion.co. You just have to apply. We have 4 tracks. The dev tracks, if you're more a tech guy. The operational track, if you're more interested in operations. Growth hacking, if you're willing to deep dive in your growth hacking skills. And finally, sales, biz dev track. So if you have any question, just Slack me. My name is Megan at joinlion.co. And I will answer to all your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Are you ready? Okay, tonight in the jury, I'm super happy. It's been a long time. Okay, he used to be an employee at the family at the very beginning, Hugo, but he left quick. Yeah, he left. And he's been touring around the world for 1 year and a half, almost. And he came back, and he came back with a wife. Came back married, the guy. Crazy story, crazy guy. I'm so happy he's now here, but he's not here for a long time. He won't stay in Paris. Actually, he's going to go to develop the family in Berlin. Yes, yes, yes. It's gonna be cool. Hugo, can you give us a few words about you? The world traveling, it was cool, yes.
Yeah, it was amazing, but there's nothing I can really share. It's been a really, really great year, but I'm really, really happy to be back in the fucking family because I missed it. I gotta say, 1 year outside the tech world, and you know what? You miss it. So yeah, I'm happy to come back.
And Balthazar, I'm a partner at the family. I've been here for about 2 years, and I advise companies on fundraising, growth, hiring, basically any problem they face.
All right. Give a lot of love and applause to Codee.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jordan, and I'm going to introduce you the new messaging app called Codee. Before I start, I just want to tell you something. The app is actually live. So the thing I'm going to talk about is not a concept, it's a real idea. So you will be able to download the app at the end of the presentation. People are using the app right now. It's available on iOS and Android. So we are talking real thing here. What is Codee? So basically Codee is a messaging app. So I'm sure in your mind you have a lot of apps that pop up. But what makes Codee different is the way you're going to reach people you want to talk about. Usually when you want to talk to someone, you use their email or their phone number. With Codee, you're going to have to create your own code. And the code will allow you to be reachable. So what is a code? A code is basically anything you want. It can be any character, it can be a letter, it can be numbers, it can be sign, it can be Japanese, it can be Hindi. It can be anything you want. You choose the code that wants to make you reachable. In my case, for example, I was selling my iPhone, so I went on Le Bon Coin, right, and I created this code, and that's the way people reach me out, and I sold my iPhone for 200 euros, which is a good price, and they used the app and they used that code. The other code that I wrote, which is Planetaire Voyage, is the first company that is using Codee. Basically what they do, it's a travel agency. They created the code, which is the name of the company, and the customer are using the code to actually reach them out. And this is the new way of taking care of the clients, and so we are testing actually the app since June. So just to make sure you understood that now you don't have to use your phone number or an email to get reachable, you just create your own code, and anyone can create his own code the way he wants to do that. So let's have a quick demo. This is the iOS version, and I'm going to show you how the app works. So basically what you do, you just go to the code, right, and you create a code. So I have already one code. I'm just going to create a new code, and so this code, which is like the one that is getting written right now, will allow me to talk to me, right? So people can use the two codes to talk to me, right? So now I'm going to talk to myself, so as if I'm going to talk to my phone number. So I'm just going to use the code I just created to talk to myself. So basically I'm just going to write a quick message, and I send the message. And so now, of course, I'm talking to myself, so you see the message get there. So I have a new message that just arrived, which is from Alice, right? So the pitch is, the video are great. I mean, thank you very much. And that's the way you want to be reachable. But now, let's say I don't want to get any message from that code. So I can just pause the code. And so now the code is paused. So now Alice cannot talk to me anymore. And I can just put the code back to active, and Alice will be able to reach me out. Of course, all the person that will try to use this code to reach me out will know that the code has been paused, okay? So that's the way it actually works. You can create as much code as you want. You see, in that code, I have like slash, I have numbers, I have also a smiley. I can do as much as I want, and I can do as much as I need to actually do. The great thing about Codee is that you also offer different features. First of all, you can be anonymous if you want, which is that I can create any code I want. I can delete it 5 minutes after I just created. I can put it pause. I can do whatever I want, and nobody knows who I am. Second of all, you can actually create several codes as I showed you. So basically, you can have a code for your family, you can have a code for yourself, for your work, you can have a code if you have a girlfriend and you don't want her to know with who you're talking about. And that's very important, right? And the third thing is that you can connect to any phone you want. Right now, if you have WhatsApp, this is only on your phone. But basically, I can take any phone I want here in the room, and I will be able to use my Codee account to get all the message that has been sent to me. And last but not least is the way that we protect yourself. We do not save any messages on the server. So anything you send, anything you receive, it's just for you and the person that sent to you. And I swear, I don't care about what you send, so there is nothing on my server, and we protect your privacy. And for me, that's the way it is. Just to make sure, I just want to sum up because it's very important, and I'm sure that people are going to download the app at the end, right? So when you have Codee, you can create as much code as you want. You can delete the code and create a new one. You don't have to keep just the 2 codes that I created. I could delete my code and just create a new one, right? So basically, it's just endless. You can use it to sell as I did on Le Bon Coin, but you can do it for anything you want. The only limit is your imagination, but more than that is the way you want to use it. I'm just talking about a product. I'm talking about something that you could do, and I'm sure I have no idea what you're going to do with that, but I'm just sure that you're going to use it. So now, of course, it's time to download the app. Not just because I told you to do so, but because I know that you will be able to show me another way of seeing this on app. You know, I created something and you're going to use it a different way that I had in my mind, and that's very important. So this is the code that I created for the event. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can just use it. So you have to download the app. You see the way it works? So I hope everybody wants to talk to me. And so yes, so the code is the family-Codee. And if you have any question, feel free to ask me. I will be very pleased to answer because you use the app to ask me a question, so I have to respect that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Who would like to actually be honest? Huh? Who understood the usage and want to download the app and test here in the room? Okay. Keep your hands up, please, if you're a technician person. Okay. You see, only a few take back their hands. It was a good pitch for me, as I see it, honestly. Really flawless, natural. You don't act on stage, you know, like an actor. You don't pretend. You're just yourself. Maybe you could smile a little bit more, but that's just for the rest of it. But otherwise, it's really what I call a tech pitch. You're a tech person. You developed it on your own. There is no team. It's the slides are super dark. Okay, so you cannot prevent me from thinking of, you know what I think, of Telegram, hashtag Anonymous, hashtag all the purpose of the startup is not to be tracked in terms of name. In a way, you replace code, you replace telephone number, which are really personal and linked to your number, to your name, with code. No one has to know who you are, right, in the usage.
The way I see it is that your number can be used for your personal activity, right? But a code can be used for like several activity. The way you see it is the way you want to see it. And that's great about the app. Is that that's a good thing that you see it like that. I see it differently, and I know people will see it differently, right? So as I know that I talk to people and they use it different way, and I talk to doctor and I talk to salesmen people, and they want to put that for the customer the way they actually do it. So it's good for you.
It's
that
open.
You have this.
It's super open.
It's open. So
you don't want to tell people what to do with it. You want to discover with their usage what they can do.
The whole purpose was to tell to people, and this is what I want, that the system exists, and just use it as much as you want, the way you want it. I mean,
because you didn't choose to start from a typical, like, there is a problem, we have to solve this problem. You didn't choose that.
No, because I'm not a problem solver. I'm just a guy that created something because I love what I do, because I think it's a great product, because I did something, and now I'm presenting the product because I know it's working, and I don't need to tell to people what to do with that. It's not my purpose, you know.
But what do you expect from the people?
I expect them to download the app, to talk about the app, to use the app the way they want it, you know. And basically, you can take anyone here, he can download the app, say to his friend, okay, download it, and we can talk, and that's it. Only if I have 2 persons that use the app is working for them. I don't need to have like 1 million. The app can work just for me and my dad, for example. I'm talking with my dad with the app, and it's working, so it's fun. We can change, we can talk, and I don't need to know that there's 1 billion that, using the app, because the way I use it, it's working, it's great, and that's it.
Yeah, but the usage with you and your dad could be WhatsApp.
It could be WhatsApp. I'm talking with my dad because I want to test it, so it's been 6 months we're using the app.
The typical, let us know about one amazing usage that you've discovered that you didn't think about before.
So I can tell you like a quick story if you want. For the people that don't know, when you have an iOS app, you need to review the app. So basically you send it to Apple and they check and they say, okay, the app is fine, and it will go on the App Store. And basically when I sent the app for the first time, I decided to check, when the Apple guy will create a code. And when it happened, I just used the code to talk to the engineer that was actually reviewing my app. And I know that I'm the first person that actually did that. I was able to talk with the engineer using my own app to try to see if the app was great. So we talk about the app, and I try to explain to him about the app. And I know for sure, because there's no way to talk to the engineer usually, that I'm the first one that actually did that. And I didn't expect, this usage. It's just something that popped up, the engineer tried a code, he created one, and I just use it, and we talked. So that's one of the usage that you don't think about, And I was the first person that was like, oh, this is a great usage, But I usually don't talk about that because that's, for me, I'm a tech guy. I'm pretty sure nobody will actually maybe not even know about that. So that's for me. I discovered that.
All right.
And that's it.
I'm on. So you said like you were not a problem solver. I was going to start about that. Not because it's important to always solve a problem all the time, even if we think it is. You can think differently, but just because like when you pitch and you start with just a story, usually the story includes the problem, and then the audience can relate at some point, because it's a little bit frustrating. I'm not talking about the company, but more the pitch. It's a little bit frustrating sometimes to not being able to relate to what you do, because you say you can do whatever you want, and people like are just maybe like trying to imagine all the things, and maybe they're imagining nothing, and it's a bit frustrating as an experience as a user right now. That's just a maybe, because it was my case. I was trying to think, okay, for what, and I would have loved to know a bit more about the story. Maybe like the okay, I don't want to say the problem again, but the problem you figured out. Was it like a privacy thing that you wanted to create at the beginning?
Not really, actually. When I start to develop the app, I first work on the code. And all the problems started. And also for me, I always grew up with technology. And for me, every time I hear about people reading what I save online, I'm very careful with that for myself. But not because I have something to hide, because I just feel that I have to keep my thing.
He didn't even introduce himself, name, who I am, where I come from.
I felt a bit disconnected from
Big privacy, man.
No, it's not about the privacy. I told her, but I'm going to tell you, it's because I came to introduce my app. I work for the app. It's been a year I'm working on that. I'm alone. And I have the chance now to talk to people. And this is a great chance. So nobody cares about my life. And I don't care about my own life. I care about the app that I'm working, right?
Yeah, I care. Okay, I understand.
So I can talk about me, but nobody. Maybe someone cares. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So send me a message.
Okay. So what usually we like to see for those kind of things, especially for messaging apps, is because messaging is so hard. Like right now, to get like someone to use an app that's about messaging is really hard. So usually we like to see something that you really understood, that is deep inside about a small community. Niche, and then you say, okay, I found this, I looked at this, I used this, and then that was missing, and I thought about doing that, and then it becomes a little bit more easy for us to relate to that. But I was more about the pitch, about the privacy. That's just again from a user perspective, and I'm going to be like read to what I saw in South America. So I'm just gonna one time and then I'm done. But like in South America, like for example, like they all use WhatsApp for sure, but they also use it for everything, not just for themselves. For example, there's a guy doing tacos, I don't know, in Mexico, and he goes with the taco thing in front of like some business place, like random business place. Then he asks for every number of the customer that usually comes, and when he arrives, he shoots a photo to the people and say, okay, this tacos is getting ready. Do you want one? I'm gonna do it, and then I'm put it aside, and you just come pick it up. And they don't give a fuck, but that's just them, right? But they don't give a fuck about privacy just for this part of messaging, you know, just like for this kind of thing. So maybe I was waiting at some point for something like, oh yeah, but on this usage, especially, like we've seen like a privacy problem, and I wanted to hear that like as a maybe user. And the thing is, like, I understand what you were saying, like about like being so democratic, like you do whatever you want with the app, and then I will figure it out, which I think is good if it's balanced with also the intention that you're gonna have with the product, because you cannot have all the users make all the work, you know, for you, and then find magically like a usage. So maybe give a little bit more intention about some cases, so we can maybe try some things, because otherwise there is a possibility that you will find nothing because nobody will know what to do. But I really like the curiosity that he triggers, you know, because then I think if you would have said, this is for this specific usage, I don't know if so many people would have raised their hand saying, I want to use it, you know. So then that was maybe a good idea to do it tonight. So you can say, okay, if I just do it, they're all going to try it, saying, okay, maybe I'm going to have a new, you know, usage, and then you're going to see. And then again, to finish, I think you're really cool. You know, you don't have to make too much of like some show or anything. It was good, and we really feel that, like Alice said, you're all about like being secret, even private, and that's a good thing. Thank you.
Does it work? Yes. So yeah, something that's similar. You live your product, and you say your product is more than you, so it's good. But we still want to know why you created it. Like you say, it's a messaging app that's nothing in the beginning because you don't want to give a usage, but we still want to know why you created it, and you need to give intention, so why people use it. You kind of do it when you say, I created this iPhone Le Bon Coin, and I created this, I don't remember the other ones for this event. So actually, you know which usage you want people can do. So just give hints, and I'm sure people are going to find way more things to do, but you still need to give them one thing, one reason to download and start using it, because messaging is crowded. Everyone has different views on it, whether it's scripted, whether it's anonymous, whether it's a code. When you started, I was like, okay, the code is not new. Tribe has codes, Snapchat has codes, and it's anonymous. Messenger has codes, of course it's you. So you have a lot of specificities that are good. Like the fact that you can stop a conversation is good. When you sell an iPhone, you don't want to receive hundreds of emails because when you already sold it. So you have many usages where it's really good, but you need to tell everyone why it's so different and why it's good. Because otherwise, I just use WhatsApp or Messenger or whatever. So give people reasons to use it, and maybe explain to others why it works. So cross-platform is a big problem when you do a messaging app, because most of your friends are not going to be on it, and you still need their phone number for them to download it. So explain a few tricks like this that makes it happen. And when you say, and just for the pitch, it's good that you start and you say it exists, because otherwise you just look like a guy alone that has an idea and it's not live. But rather than doing this, just show numbers, or say, I have 5,000 people that use it every day for this. It's better than just saying it's live. If it's live and you have no user, I don't care. Like, I can download it, it's good, but it's not as good as usage. And then you give a few value proposition of your thing. You say it's ephemeral, it's cryptic, it's anonymous. So these are things that either you really say it's A, B, C, or you don't say it. But like, just structure it so people remember your app as, oh yeah, it's the app I'm going to use because I can switch codes, I can be private, and I can this. Otherwise, they're just going to forget about it.
Yeah, but the main reason is that, you know, I talked to a lot of people about that, and as you said, in South America, they don't care about the fact that it's private. So I don't have to say this is the first one, the second one, the third one. This is I mean, I'm trying to be constant in the way I present the app. So I just say to someone, you can do that, that, and that. And if one of those three things I talk about is good enough for you, that's great for me. I don't need to.
I'm not asking to rank it.
What I mean, I don't need to say, okay, first, second, third.
Yeah, but it's just like there's this thing now, what we call the yo effect.
Yeah.
It's like they just say, you know, we just get this yo thing, and then they didn't give any intention about the product. Then they had this huge spike of users, and then they tried because they fuck. Now we have to do an intention, And because it was like not in the, you know, like that's the prolongation of what they were doing, it just got fucked up. So it's just, I understand, just like there's a balance between action and intention, about everything in life, and maybe a little bit intention. I'm not saying like, say, okay, this is only for that, but just give maybe a little intention and talk to every fucking user on your app.
Because by not giving any intention at the end, the only thing that we remember is privacy. And privacy is never a trigger for a messaging app. Never.
Yeah, sure.
You know? So give us more creative ways of using it so we can think creatively about it. Sales,
Okay, I see.
you know, B2C, when they want to harass clients, they can use it. You have tons of cases.
Yeah, but I only have 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. All right. It was good. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. A lot of applause to NappyMe.
Hi everybody, good to be here in front of you. So my name is Ange, and I would like to introduce you my brand new startup that I called NappyMe. So first of all, there is one thing that you should know about Afro women. So for Afro women, the hair is very, very important for them. It's just not some hair, it's more than that. For some of them, it's even a way to affirm the Afro-feminist identity. It takes a lot of time for them to care about that, and they spend a lot of money to care about that. And as I told you, they use that as a weapon to affirm really the Afro-feminists, not for all of them, but for some of them that keep the natural hair on them. But unfortunately, more often they struggle to find a good hairstylist, and even when they find a good hairstylist, they spend a lot of time to care about that. They can spend, I don't know, one day, I can schedule one day just to have an appointment, and even that, they can wait for a lot of hours in order to get the haircut. So, for that, we created a mobile app that connects Afro women between them, those who can do haircut and those who need haircut. Basically, we would like to help Afro women to fit easily the best hairstylists around them to take care about their hair, and also to provide them the product and all the extension and the product that they need to take care about their hair. The app that we created look like that. It's very simple. So there is just a list, a gallery images of haircut that you need. Or if you know the haircut that you would like to do, you can select the haircut that you need. And the app will display you the list of hairstylists that can do that haircut, and with each prices. So the prices, in the prices, it's included the mobility. So if the hairstylist moves to your place or some things like that, you don't have to pay an extra fee. So everything is in all of them. And for some of our hairstylists, they provide also already the extension and some things like that. So you can check the profile of the hairstylist, the number of performances that she did, the global rating, and also the haircut that she already made. And you can check the review, the global rating, and if you are an haircut, an idea of haircut that you know that you want to do, that you pick on Google Image or something like that, you can even send them to them through our chat windows, and schedule an appointment with them and send that. So we launched the app 3 months ago, and we have right now more than 10,000 users registered on this app, and more than 1,000 transactions completed on this app. And this is what people talk about in apps, so it's amazing, and some testimonials about that. So basically, me, I'm a last year student in computer science. I'm not in the haircare industry. So when I got that idea, I just started like a side project. So I are just building a landing page. And in something like 1 month, we get more than 3,000 users subscribing. And then at the end of March, I decided to go all in that project to build that amazing app for the Afro community here in France. And by the end of August, as I told you, we reached more than 10,000 users, and our goal is to target more than 25,000 users by the end of this year. And basically, for the time being, we just operating in France, in Paris, mainly in Paris, but we are targeting big market for the Afro community here in Europe in order to explore some market like US and Africa market. So I used to manage that project myself, I think, and there is a friend of mine that helped me about getting some money and grabbing some money from some love money from his friend and some stuff like that. And it's not just it's just not us, but I'm working closely to my hairstylist. So it's like a family. We have some WhatsApp group where we talk each other and where we introduce some of them when there is a new hairstylist in the group. And we are a very strong community. We can share some tips and also some joking, some kidding, and the haircut that you already did. So thank you to listening to me. And if you have questions, I will be happy to transfer to you. Thanks.
Fuck man, I loved it. I fucking loved it. No, it was really great. With the energy again, you know, energy is not about like again showing all the time. It's just what we feel, you know. And I felt good during the pitch. But then just a few things. First, maybe you can when you start with the problem, I would say, you know, maybe you could talk about the movement, especially in the US, you know, where like it's not just a way of, you know, like they represent it also like it's almost like a political movement, you know. They I don't know how to say lycée in English, to like make your hair flat. There's a whole movement to just don't do it, because a lot of companies, they actually push, like, you know, like it says, you know, silently they push the people to just like flatten their hair. Okay. So maybe talk about that, because it is a problem. It's not just nice to have. Maybe here a little bit, but no, it's big in the US, and it's gonna come big more and more. The second thing about the I would say like the market. Tell us it's a big market, because it is. Okay. Because tell us about the price, for example, about like the average price, because people don't know that. Maybe the investor usually, you know, I haven't seen a lot of black investors. They don't know.
Right now, the average prices for each haircut is it's above 50 euros per haircut.
And then tell us about the recurrency, like how many times like a black woman might do this per month.
In average, 1 time a month. But since we launched 3 months ago, there is a client who already used the app for I think 5 times. So
that's what you want. Just saying, okay, this is expensive, not just like a haircut, like a quick, you know, you just this is expensive, and this is important for the woman that does that, and it's just 1 time per month. And then people think, okay, recurrency. They think, you know, subscription model. They think about that, and just they know that it's important, and you have like this validation, because the people usually don't know about that. Then I love the demo. You know, I love the vibes. It was good. I was picturing myself like just chatting, even though I don't really need that. But I was picturing myself a little bit doing it, and then it was a little downside. Like I was like I almost felt I was like in Château d'Eau, you know, like I felt like I was here, and then you put like the graphs and the timeline, and I felt I was in KPMG, and I was like, fuck, this is like that and like that. Don't skip. I would say, but this is just personal. Okay. Just skip that. Just tell me it's an important market. Tell me you have users. Tell me there is traction. Tell me there is a momentum going, or make me think there is a momentum. That's what I want to hear as a user, as you know, like anyone that could be in the house. And then don't do like 2007, 2016, blah blah. We're gonna do that. It's about like a weather forecast. It's la météo. It look like there is nothing. We've never seen, like, I guess this timeline. being actually real. And unconsciously, everybody knows it, So you're just like doing this a little bit just for yourself, and you don't need that. Like the pitch was really good, really like energizing. You didn't need this a little bit this little down. Okay. And then last, and I shut the fuck after that. More about the team, You're like you're sympathetics. We want to know more about the team. You've talked about like the way you have like your community or everything, but then the team was like, I think 5 seconds. Oh, there's the team, there's photo of us, really cool, you're not gonna watch it more, boom. Because you're connected to your user, you show that to us, you're connected to your community, you show that to us. We want to understand a little bit more why, and this why is about yourself. So this a little bit more, way more, by the way, I would say. Otherwise, I really, really loved it.
Okay, thank you.
So there are a lot of great things, but you don't need to do company presentation on the first slide. You don't need to write the market. You don't need to write the mission, the solution. Just explain it. Be a bit more graphic, because it feels like you did your slides on PowerPoint like 15 minutes ago, but you have a lot of things to show, so it's good, and we really understand what your product is at the end. But like, just do an effort on design and a couple basic things. The vibe you have is good. The way you explain the product is good. There is one thing I felt missing, is you're building a marketplace, and in the beginning you have no brand. No one knows who you are. No one knows NappyMe. No one knows nothing. So the one thing you need to transfer to the audience is trust. So you need to talk about the community. You need to tell us who the addressers are, why they're good, why they're implicated, and why they're going to treat everyone as a client like really well. And you'd say it, but it's the last thing you say. It's actually the most important thing. Like, everyone knows there is demand for good Afro haircuts. So the most important thing is the supply. So if it's the supply, you need to talk more about all the addresses you have, how you find that, how they win money also, even if this is more for investment pitch, but like, everyone needs to know that you have the best ones in Paris, and that if you ask 1 hour later, there's someone that's come to your place and actually going to do something at a fair price, and that's something that you like. So insist on this way more. It's what's going to define your marketplace. It's the level of satisfaction of the clients, and on the other side, the level of revenue they're going to make. But like, really insist for it. In the end, you talk about the team in a minute. I don't know if you do it because we write team in the pitch of what we ask. It's what we ask is not something that you need to follow word by word. Like, some people are going to start with the market, others with the team. And if you put it, just give us more about it. If it's just to say we're two, no one cares. But maybe what you're looking for in the audience is some people to join you in the startup, which is something then you ask for it. We want to know at the end what you're looking for. It's more clients. It's always more clients. It's more clients and people to join. It's more clients and investors. It's like, just give this attention to the audience and show that you're giving something, which is a great product and a great vision and a great execution. But if you want something back, you need to say it.
Okay. Well, everybody said it. We were really into the pitch. Actually, not into the pitch, to be honest, into the product. It's a fucking amazing thing that you've built on your own, and I'm really happy, actually, because you and the previous speaker on stage, you are this kind of new entrepreneurs, very techie guys who focus on one problem, or not, but anyway, and finally do things on their own, because your co-founder is a business angel, is not operational on it, okay? And I love this. I love the fact that you don't need anyone else to build your thing. I already love NappyMe. I knew you before, but to be honest, if we are here to get better, baby, you're too shy.
Yes.
Huh? You need to rehearse a little bit, because we all felt touched, because you come, you don't boast off, you speak really fast. We can feel that you are stressed by the pressure of going on stage. So we are with you, like that. And then we are amazed by the fucking product. 3 months, 10,000 downloads, already 1,000 transactions. Oh shit. Okay, so now we're talking you seriously. But you see, if you could be you have to work on pitching anyone, anytime. I like everything, even in your, not only about the product, but the structure. First, you position the problem in terms of what hair means. Then you go down, and then at the end, we can see that there is a big trust in this community when you look at the screen of the WhatsApp group and everything. So you have everything. So now you can boast, because everybody who has nothing, they are like that, and the one who have something is really shy. It's not good.
Yes.
You need to sell at least as good as your product is selling. Okay?
Okay.
So you need to train more, to rehearse, because your product is fucking awesome.
Yes. Okay, thank you. But that was my first time to pitch that product, and even in English. And
But you're still a student.
yeah, but I finished this year. Normally, if I've not, I think.
How old are you?
rattrapage, it should be fine. 24.
24.
Yes. And to reply to Balthazar, if you have some Afro friends that you know that struggle to find a good haircut, you can talk to her, and also share, like, our Facebook page and share that with them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Benjamin. I'm from Lalilo, and Lalilo is a web platform designed to teach children how to read. So, how many of you thinks that reading is a problem for a lot of people in France? Not quite a lot. Actually, it's a lot. There's 20% of people who are considered insufficient readers in France. So, at Lalilo, we decided to tackle this problem, and we have built a very diversified team to make so 3 engineers from the same school, actually not very diversified, but we are all passionate about improving education. And at the beginning, we didn't particularly focus on reading. We went into schools, we observed what was going on there, and we were looking at how we could help by doing something. But the guy in the middle, Laurent, he was more into it. He wanted to live as a teacher. He wanted to really feel what was the concern of today's teacher. So he went as Bear Grylls, and he did a lot of paperwork, and within a few weeks, he got into a real classroom teaching 25, 6-year-old children. He was really excited about it, I can assure you. But he met Tanya. Tanya is struggling at reading. It's in February, so very late in the year, and she's still struggling at reading small syllables, while all of her friends are successfully reading full sentences, or at least full words. And she was clearly falling behind. She would have a hard time catching up with her education, and it would be difficult for the rest of her life. So Laurent wanted to help her the most he can. He wanted to spend all his time of teaching her how to read, but he had 24 other children, so he couldn't. So his only dream at this moment was that each child should have his own teacher, and that's what we wanted to do. And our goal is to design the best personal tutor for learning how to read. So we designed a few content, we designed a few algorithms, and we came up with Lalilo. So what I'm going to do with you is to rebuild a small piece of the algorithm that we use, so you can understand what's happening there. So let's take Annie, for example. Annie has been using Lalilo for a few minutes now. She's been doing quite well. She has made no mistakes, and she gets on this exercise. So quite simple. We pronounce a word. She has to click on the matching one on the screen. Okay. So what is Annie going to do? She's going to click on the wrong one. Okay. The right one was thrill. Sorry. So the right one was thrill. She clicked on queer. It's the wrong one. Okay. as Annie is smart enough, she's getting the good one on the second trial. So if you had to do an algorithm, what would you do? If you were a teacher, what would you do? You would test her again. So same exercise, same confusion, other words, and we're going to test her again. So this time, the new solution is soup. And guess what Annie is going to do? Annie is going to click on couple. So she's getting it wrong again. The algorithm is starting to wondering if there is not a big issue with Annie and the C stuff. She doesn't know how to pronounce the C in a word. So, okay, what would you do next? Well, if you were a teacher, what would you next? You could try on another exercise. So let's try on a spelling exercise. So we are pronouncing the word sable, and we are going to see if she's able to rewrite it by clicking on the letters in the right order. But we add the C letter to check if she's going to confuse. And actually, she's going to confuse. We give her feedback, and now we are sure that Ennis doesn't know how to pronounce the C letter in all the possible ways. So what are we going to do now? What would you do? You would explain to her how we pronounce C. So we're providing her an explanation about how the C actually pronounced as a function of the vowels that are behind. And so you give her explanation, and at the end of the explanation, what do? You check if she has understood correctly what you told her. So you give her an exercise where she had to categorize words as a function of they all contain C inside, and we have to see if she knows if it's a C that is pronounced or C that is pronounced K. So she's doing quite well on this one, so now we know that she is really proficient at reading the C letter. So this was just a piece of the algorithm. The idea is to build the best tutor possible, so we have to adapt to each possibility of the child getting it wrong, and it's quite difficult, but we're designing it. So what are the strengths of our product? The strengths are we are giving, instead of a read aloud activity in a classroom, for example, where you have 30 children and a 1 hour session, each child is going to get 2 minutes of direct interaction and direct feedback with the teacher. Thanks to the platform, you get instant feedback, and when a child is getting a 1 hour session on Lalilo, is getting a 1 hour feedback. We give the child customized content, and this is really important because we are going to make him work on his real difficulty. We are going to make him work on what he doesn't know yet, and so he's at the right level. So it's not too hard for him, it's not too easy for him, he's always in a learning process. And third, we give relevant feedback to the teacher so he can design better lessons. We give him the difficulties that his class have, that each child have, and So what's next for Lalilo? We release the beta. If you know any teachers that would be interested in using us, please contact us.
Okay, thanks for your pitch. I think you lose a little bit the public, the attention. Am I wrong? No. Some people in the room wanted to sleep. Okay, and to be honest, it's not because the product seems to be amazing, and the slides were beautiful. You are almost a good pitcher. It's just this trick about telling a story. When you tell a story, if you want the audience to feel like a young child of 6 years old, don't say, if you were, what would you do? Would you say? Then we choose to do. No, talk to us as the child of 6 years old. Okay, you are learning how to read. So now you learn the C. Okay, C, Ka, Ko, Ku. Okay. If you want us to feel like, because if you tell us, imagine the story that you are someone you are not, what would you do? And there are too many people in the room of our minds, you know, like a teacher, the parent, the person, you, and at the end we are lost. Otherwise, something is really missing for me. even if you are guys from Polytechnic and you can definitely understand that you are involved because the guy he quit. He decided to become a teacher. It shows the big involvement. It's a scientific part of it. Which theoretical movement are you joining? Because when we're talking about learning how to read, you have different versions. And my age, for instance, I've been learning how to read in a different way than you, because we are not at the same age. Now, but it changed a little bit. There is a global way of seeing the things. So I need to know, what do you work for? What do you follow? Is it neuroscientific linked? Do you do tests? What do you follow as a guideline and rules to actually learn?
It's a real question? Okay. Actually, we are following what seems to us the most scientifically relevant to teaching children how to read. So when neuroscience are relevant, we are taking from neuroscience. When learning science are relevant, we're taking from learning science.
Okay, but can you be a little bit in the pitch, be more specific about it? I introduce it at the moment. Why did I choose to go this way? Because this or that. Or here, the main purpose of the app is that at the end, the child, they have their own teacher for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem of this little girl that you were talking at the beginning. She's lost among the 30 children, where she has difficulties, so at the end she's stuck. So you are the solution, a software solution, because you bring the attention of a teacher that she didn't have. Push this kind of thing so that we can believe you that your product is going to be amazing. Otherwise, I wish I could. So beta within 2 weeks. I wish my nephews and everything will learn how to read on it. Thank you.
Yeah, the beginning of the pitch is really good. So the one sentence just works. The team is good to present in the beginning because everyone knows artificial intelligence is something complicated. So you have the background that allows you to do it. Plus you get to people's hearts saying why he quit, why he became a teacher, why he wants to do it. You give examples so everyone can relate to it, and then you lose everyone because it gets too long. And it's a very complicated problem to learn to people how to read. It's been done for years and years and years, and people try to refine it. And it's as difficult to do it for one person at a time and be specific. So to me, it sounds a bit like the Dropbox when they started. And synchronization between devices is something extremely difficult also. And the tagline is it just works. And for you, it should be something like this, where you just say what you built works. And then you explain just very quickly why it works, how you do it, why people can go to the level they want to. And hopefully in a couple weeks, you're going to say, and Amy, she learned how to talk and to read in 3 months. That would be amazing. But just tell everyone it works, because if you wait for them to see all the process that makes me learn what the difference is between an S and a C, it's too long. You need to say it takes the basics of how you guys learned how to read in school, takes it to the next level, people learn faster. And then you can explain a bit, but just tell us how good it is. And yeah, besides that, it's good.
Yeah, no, it was a really good, story at the beginning. We were actually feeling you, even though it was on the team slides. The team and the story are really, really connected for sure.
I didn't find another slide to put on it. I didn't know
yeah. Because it was just maybe we were looking at you and you were telling us who you are. Maybe tell us maybe after the story what you do in the company. So these guys talking up algorithm, but I don't know, but you know best. So we can say okay, we can put a name to a function a little bit. But then it was a great story. But at some point you decided, and I don't know why, because it started with like empathy and a beautiful, like thing that you can connect with, and then you decided to smart it up. You decided to win this pitch, to win this audience by being smart, which is an amazing thing to be, for sure, especially if you're building an algorithm to help kids learn. But you said at some point, like, if you will build an algorithm, you said that to the audience, like, if you would build, it's like, this is the thing that disconnect the people at some point because they don't know how to relate to that, And there were so many other ways, like Alice said, to relate to you when you were a kid a little bit, or some story that you would have before that. It was more easy to do easy than to do complicated for that. And just that, I know it's not easy for sure to pitch and entertain. But the goal of a pitch is really to entertain and not prove that you have a good way of doing what you do, and maybe just take that into your mind a little bit more, because then again you're really serious. It's in English. It's not easy. It's fucking hot, so you don't have like a lot of good things to do a good pitch, but just maybe a little bit more fun and less smart. And again, I just want to say, because we said things about like feedback again, about the pitch and everything. A good entrepreneur is not always all the time a good pitcher. So this is just that you have to think about. You don't have to be a good pitcher. It's not a pressure. You don't have to be amazing at pitching. It's not because you don't pitch really, really good, then people are going to think, and that we are going to think that you're not a good entrepreneur. Be free of that thing, because it doesn't count at the end of the day, for sure.
And also, it's a zero risk product on the consumer side. It's like everyone here, I'm sure, has tried Duolingo or Babel to learn a language. You just go and you try. It works, you stay. It doesn't work, you don't stay. So the goal of your pitch is just for people to try, because if it works, it works. And they're going to go in it, and the gamification is going to be good, and the levels are going to be fine-tuned to my level. And if you just want them to go on the websites and try it out, and that's enough. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't want more than their interest and them going to the website.
Okay, thank you.
Wait. Who would like to download this in 2 weeks?
Everyone who has kids.
Who would like to talk about it to their friends who have kids? All right, thank you. Thank you.
Please do it.
And now, the last one, Afrikrea. Give a lot of applause and love to my friend, CEO of Afrikrea.
Hello, everybody. Sorry for the little trouble with the technical side. So I'm trying to present tonight our startup, Afrikrea. So to begin with, Afrikrea is live. You can use the website, actually. It's afrikrea.com. It has been live for a long time. And it's actually tonight, I'm not going to focus on the product. The website, you can see, you can use it. I'm going to focus on two things that made the product successful, I think, is our story and the experience behind the product. So to talk about Afrikrea, you must, if some of you who knows Etsy around here, just to see if I'm talking. Whoa, okay, I'm impressed, that's rare. Okay, so I'm going to go very easy. So we're going to talk about crafts, jewelry, and maybe fashion also, because that's a big part of it. But as you can imagine, as a guy, I was not very much into fashion. So when people told me about African fashion the first time, the first thing that I thought about was like that, honestly. I must be honest, but that's maybe because, unlike you, but that also helps. I grew up in Africa, so you can see me little. I grew up in Mali, actually in Bamako. So for us, African fashion is obviously something traditional, something also that we like to offer to tourists, basically. We did not took it as something very modern that we could use every day. And the thing that shocked me a lot is when I realized that actually, when I came in France, for the first time at the University of Paris-Dauphine, there were a lot of people asking me two things, always the same questions. The first one was, in French, comment ça se fait que tu n'aies pas d'accent? You can relate to that. It's basically, why don't I pronounce things in a strange way like they imagine African people do? But the other thing that they always asked me was, if I was taking like this, That was my favorite briefcase. It's made of leather, if you see it, and it's 10 years old, actually. And when I was saying to people, oh, that's 10 years old, they were saying, but how much does it cost? I was saying like 5 euros, something like that. And it was, no, that's not possible. How can I get it? But you have to go to Mali. That's what I said most of the time. And afterwards, I realized that all the people doing this beautiful stuff, so if someone wants it, you can have it. All the people doing this beautiful stuff were actually struggling because they were counting on tourists to come. And if you know about Mali today, there is a lot of trouble, not much tourism. And first, all the craftsmen, like the one doing this beautiful briefcase, is now working in a gold mine, because that's what pays today. So actually, after that, I realized that there was also talented creators here in France and in Europe. There are most of the time women, as you can see, that makes with their bare hands beautiful jewelry, beautiful fashion. And that's what we have on Afrikrea today most of the time. People are in France making all the beautiful products and sending them all over the world because they do not have the logistic problem of shipping, payments that you may have in Africa. So to go back to the famous bubu, actually in Africa what you can find is things like that, or like that, or like that and that and that. So that's pretty cool. I imagine if some of you wants to buy, you can. It's on the website. If you know people that want to buy, you can do it also. It's on the website. And so to get back to, rather than the experience, our story, what I can say is that for our marketplace, we learned that it's about the community. We have amazing sellers, and we have a lot of satisfied buyers. We have already more than 3,000 ones. We have over 97% satisfaction. And we realized that they were talking a lot with our amazing sellers again, that do more than 5,000 discussions every month with sellers, with buyers, and sending them directly their products and talking with them afterwards and even becoming friends. So that's what we love. And our model to sustain that and be fair is actually a free shop and only a 5% commission. But I'm going to go back after this experience to our story quickly, because it might be interesting for you. We started with promising beginnings in 2014. We had a lot of press. We were doing that in addition to our jobs. And when that happened, we decided, after talking to business angel and seeing just how much we loved the product. Personally, I told you I was not into fashion. But now, every day I'm wearing something made by one of my creators. For instance, my phone case is made by my creators. My favorite shoes is made by my creators. And I realized that that's something that becomes part of your life and allows you to express who you are. So we decided to jump, and before the end of 2015, to become full-time on it. But the thing is, we struggled a little, just to be fair. We realized that even after, you can see the first part is while we were still part-time. The second time is after being full-time. 2 of us, and 2 didn't go full-time. And it was still not very much. So, much like 300, if you know this movie that is awesome, we took the 2 most important decisions in our life. One very hard, and the other rather easy, actually. The hard one was to kick out our 2 of us co-founders, because they didn't want to commit full-time, and the main issue was the website, and they didn't want to work on it. So we were left at 2 out of 4, and decided of the 2 of us to go directly to, how do we call it, Lille, to leave Paris and focus on the business. So it got a little better, but not much. And finally, a miracle happened. And the miracle name is Luc. You can see him here. He's our CTO. So he's an experienced guy with more than 20 years experience in web development. And he actually joined our platform, developed a new one, and helped me and my co-founder that you can see here, the tall guy in the back. That is the super community manager. The guy is actually in 1 year, he managed to go from 0 to 300 sellers on the platform. And since then, you receive gifts every day from the sellers. So if you want one, talk to him. And just to finish, our end game is definitely to build the world leader in ethical and ethical fashion. Because I told you about the experience, we think that everybody, even if you're not African, you might want to discuss with a real seller, you might want to participate to a new vision, a new image of Africa. And if you don't, you have people that probably would, and we participate in making Africa something more beautiful, I might say, and something more accessible all around you. So to finish, we have a gift for you, or someone you may know. There is a 20% off subscription with the code Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe TF. If you want to subscribe to our box Afrikrea, that is a Pitch Don't Kill My Vibe. But I can keep it actually. So that's all for me, and thank you for listening.
All right. Thank you, Molay. If you want the code, PDKMVBTF. Please don't kill my vibe, the family. Who enjoyed the pitch? Be honest. Be honest. Okay. You enjoy the guy. You enjoy the story, and you enjoy the coherence between the guy and the story, and we all liked it. So for being authentic and sincere and everything on stage, we all liked it. For me, there are just a few things that everybody knows, but you need to rehearse. It's one, never look at the slide. It's super boring, because if you don't connect with the crowd in front of you, they will start talking together, making some noise and getting nervous because it's hot and everything. First thing. Speak. When you speak, if you speak with your hand, I don't hear you anymore. Yeah. And never start a pitch or a speech by saying, I'm sorry for this little bug or blah blah. Because I know it's a way to start talking slowly and, trying to get closer with your audience, but it's actually wrong, because you start by make us feeling pity for you, and we don't want to feel pity, we want to be happy, we want you to make us, to entertain us, okay? So never be like the guy, sorry, this is not good. Because we will disrespect you, in a way, if you show yourself in this position. It's kind of domination game. It's stupid, but it's really like that. Animally, it's all you talk to our animal inside when you do like that. Otherwise, it's an amazing product. We all want to buy it. I already bought it. I already bought some stuff on it, and the user experience was amazing. So for me, it's cool.
So you live the product. We can see it. We find it entertaining how you explain where you started and where you got, and that's how I got to know you, because I saw you a couple times and I've seen the progress, and it's always good to see the progress, but it's way easier to see it when we see a different snapshot than when you explain it. When you explain it, it's okay. It's been difficult, now it's good, but in the end we're really happy for you that it goes up. Couple of things on the pitch, otherwise is don't use negatives like oh, sorry for this in the beginning. So you don't need to do that. You just take the mic and it's okay. You don't need to say, I'm really not into fashion. Like it doesn't bring anything. It's better for you to just be here and say, this is me, this is my life since the beginning. And you don't need to do it, but you don't need to say the opposite either. And then, as for NappyMe, the trend is here. You see more and more African-inspired creations here in Paris, here in the world, of course in Africa, but it doesn't change much, but maybe more creators. And then the thing if you explain the trend, there is a demand. And the same as NappyMe, you need to focus on supply. And you do it, you say you understand that the most important thing is your creators. And you explain a little bit why the special here compared to Africa because of logistics, etc. But you could give one example of a creator that got on Afrikrea, that started talking with users, producing more, making revenue, and thanking you. Like it's feedback that everyone wants to hear, that people who they buy from win money, are happy, because that's all about independent creation, especially for what you do when it's African inspired and it's people that you empower. So just say it. Take one example of one girl or guy that's really successful on the platform. Otherwise, you live it, and you could have brought a shirt. That's
you don't want to
but that's
be too easy.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any little things to add, but not too much because it's been said.
Yeah.
you're cool. You transmit something throughout the presentation. The story was good. He had like a good emotional like line. You know, there's some progression, and then at the end, like we succeeded, and then we have a gift. You know, it looked like the the little chocolate at the end of the sushi that when you go to a Japanese restaurant, like okay, there you go. It was good. I felt good.
Yeah.
Just one thing. I would think for something that is so important, so related to like beautiful things,
yes.
Like craftsmanship. I would say like just more beautiful the presentation, because it was just like this thing,
Yeah.
like this background. I think you should, because doing that effort, pushing that 20% more about like having a beautiful presentation. Like there is some mix of a bunker thing. That's bunker. I see that. That's bunker. And like this is 2 seconds. Oh no, you cannot see it here.
Yeah.
They just you want to push that 20 extra % about presentation.
Yes.
Because this. How do you say, like, fuck, I don't remember. This 20%, when you do it for your presentation, if you push it, you're going to do for other things, and this is going to be the thing that are going to be important for your business, for your platform, for your culture. This is not just for the people here, because your employees, even if not, now you have a few co-founders and they have the same culture, they're gonna watch that video 10 years from now if you become successful, They're gonna say, fuck, and now he's like pissing me off just because I did like a little thing. No, you want to have like a beautiful presentation.
Yeah.
You want to push that 20%
to push the level
more.
to the maximum.
Yeah, you want to have this exigence.
Okay.
That's it. But otherwise it was a really good pitch and I really liked it.
Thank you all.
We're gonna vote. Trust delay. The applaudimètre. Il y a vraiment un applaudimètre, mec. You're gonna make some noise. You remember on the pitch, I say 1, 2, 3, and the name of the startup, and you make some noise, okay? Be generous, give to everybody, but give more to your favorite, okay? 1, 2, 3, Lalilo! Thank you. 1, 2, 3, NappyMe. One, two, three, Codee. 1, 2, 3, Afrikrea. Ah ouais, il faut choisir entre les deux maintenant. C'est les deux meilleurs. Ok, vous êtes chaud? 1, 2, 3, NappyMe! All right. 1, 2, 3, Afrikrea! So, who wants? Ok, c'est toi, ma gueule. Allez, bravo! NappyMe, tiens, c'est la coupe du pigeon qui m'éveille!
Que la famille.